Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, coming to you from the Ventura Cigar Company studio. And with me today is Seth Geis and John McTavish. How you guys doing?
Oh yeah, for
Superb.
sure.
Superb.
So today we are talking about the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trusts and Compromiso Selección number 5 Parejo. It's more of a Toro Extra 6x54. Comes out of the Hoya de Nicaragua factory in Nicaragua. Wrapper is Mexican San Andres Negro. The binder is Ecuadorian Habano, and the filter is from Nicaragua. It is blended by Steve Saka. Price point is $17.45, and the cigar was released in September of 2018. So with all that out of the way, Seth, what was your smoking experience like?
Yeah, man. First third opens up. There's a little bit of creaminess to it, some red pepper. Then there's followed by some dry earth and some coffee flavors, and it's got this nutty like finish to it, almost like almond or cashews, and there's like a toastiness with it. Um, get into the second third, find the creamy aspect just kind of fades away, and the pepper becomes a little bit more prominent. There's some dry wood, earth, and leather, and it's showing some transition from the first third. Um, that's about the flavor profile there. Final third, just a little bit more spice, pepper, some dry wood. There's that leather. There's showing a little bit of toast and nuttiness right there on the end as well, but it's just kind of more peppery and spicy. I'd say it probably starts off at like the medium level and it grows throughout, going to medium full and then a medium solid, medium full, maybe a little bit fuller towards the end. Burn was fantastic throughout. I think we talk about that later though, don't we?
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Sweet. Burn was solid throughout, and the draw was dead on as well. It was a well constructed cigar. John, how about you, man?
Well, let me tell you what my experience was like. First few puffs, sweet spices, cedar, but quite mild. So kind of surprising. I was expecting maybe a little bit more intensity off the hop. Retrohale was a lot more nuanced. So again, this is a cigar where if you're not retrohaling, I think you're missing the entire cigar experience really, because that's where all the layers are. And then as the cigar kind of progressed, some light cocoa, mild loam, some mild leather, mild coffee, and then the earth kind of, I would say, coordinated well with the chocolate, kind of mingled in well with the chocolate. And then at the last half of the first third, there's a little bit of fresh cedar. In the middle third, the earth kind of became to the forefront, so it kind of broke free there a little bit. Chocolate and earth kind of reversed position once the cigar kind of established itself. So the chocolate came back, earth kind of fell to the background, and then the cedar that was there kind of takes on a toasted quality, and there's a little bit of a honey sweetness. And then the toasted cedar drops off, and then there's a really defined cinnamon, which is quite enjoyable for the remainder of the middle third. In the last third, there's kind of a generic sweetness that I couldn't put my finger on. Toasted cedar returns in the post draw. Cinnamon is still there, but it's kind of a light plus background note. And then there's a post draw earthiness that comes back, and it's probably the strongest flavor across the entire cigar. Actually, it's about medium level. In terms of construction, textbook burn. I mean, this is definitely well constructed, razor sharp. Ash holding on well needed to be aggressively knocked off in 2 inch plus increments, so that's always positive. Did have some issues with the draw though. It's about 2 inches or 2 notches into the tight spectrum for me, so I would say it was quite resistant. So rated that as good overall. What was your experience like, Aaron?
Yeah, for me, it started with heavy cedar and a concentrated baking spice. Further in, that baking spice mellows out, takes on a bit of a toasted character to go along with the cedar. Inch in, cedar gains a little bit of char. Baking spice remains in that toasted profile. Retrohale's baking spice forward has a pretty decent zing to it, while some dry cedar is present in the background. Further in, some mustiness joins in the profile. Um, you know, Cedar still has a little bit of char to it. Baking spice loses that toasted note, kind of a supporting note in the background. As the third comes to a close, baking spice picks back up, so that the cedar, the cream, and the baking spice all at equal levels, and that strength in that first third was slightly below medium. Second third, toasted note returns. This time it's kind of paired with the cedar as the char leaves the profile. Further in, that mustiness increases, takes the lead, as the char replaces the toast on the cedar again. Baking spice remains even with the cedar. About an inch in, charred cedar really picks up front with the mustiness and the baking spice in the background. Retrohale carries kind of that same profile. And as the second third's wrapping up, a little bit of cream inners kind of knocks down that charred cedar a little bit. Strength is up to the medium mark. And then final third, the toast comes back to the cedar. A little char also remains there. Further in that toast leaves is the charred cedar and mustiness up front, a little bit of slight cream in the background. In chin, charred cedar takes a slight lead over the mustiness as the cream departs. Profile's a little bit drying at that point. Retro kind of carries that same combination of charred cedar and mustiness, and that charred cedar kind of continues to increase as the cigar comes to a close, and that strength bumps up to slightly above medium. In regards to construction, the burn line was a little bit wavy, but never required any attention. Ash held on just over 1 inch increments. And in regards to the draw, I thought it was perfect. I had no issues with it whatsoever. So overall, Seth, what was your experience like?
Yeah, I mean, I really wasn't really impressed or blown away by the cigar. I thought the first third was good, but then I thought it just went downhill when I got into the second final third. I just don't think it really did anything. I mean, besides having good construction and the draw, spot on for me, I just don't think the flavor profile was there after the first third. It just kind of tanked.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
Kind of a very similar experience. I rated the first to middle third as good and the last third is average. There's some interesting flavors. I mean, cinnamon, chocolate, cedar, coffee, and at times some earth, but like they were all very light. And, it's okay to have light flavors as long as you have, a complex medley. But I don't know, man. And I don't know if it was just because this cigar was hyped up by maybe cigar media or other people. I was expecting this to be a blockbuster, and I think overall I wasn't blown away, which is really unfortunate because DTD got some good cigars, man. Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, it started out with a good combination of cedar and baking spice, then kind of moved that core profile of charred cedar mustiness. Construction is really good. Strength built from just below medium, just above medium. I wrote the same thing in my review, man. I was a bit disappointed by this, and based on history of what the company's put out and what others have said about the cigar, I was expecting something a lot better than what I had. I'm interested in trying another Vitola, hopefully a smaller ring gauge. Just want to see if that provides any kind of different experience. But as it stands, I would probably say that this is my least favorite line from the company. So
it's his first Mexican wrapper too, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Bust.
get my hands on that Entorpedo.
Yeah, kind of going back and forth with him on Instagram, and he said that he thought the Intrepido wasn't the best of the smaller ring gauges, but it was like a 7 or 7.5 by something that was smaller ring gauge that was better. So I have to check that out.
All right.
So getting to the scores, Seth, you gave it the highest at 7.02. John, you gave it a 6.52, and I gave it a 6 even. So Seth, how do you think that matched up with your experience?
Gosh. It's higher than I thought it would be. I don't think
you did get the first one very good, so I mean that helps it a lot.
Yeah, I don't think it deserves that high of a score, but based on our system, yeah. I mean, I just don't think it's that. I don't know. I don't think it's really anything to write home about.
Right. How about you, John?
Yeah, it's a good cigar, and I think what carries it into that higher echelon is that it's well constructed. I mean, yeah, I had a bit of a tight draw, but the cigar itself was very well constructed. So I think it's one of those unfortunate times where the score maybe belies the flavor for me, because to me, if you rated it on flavor alone, this is a low 6s for me. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, this is a slightly above average cigar. Good flavor profile in the first third, average throughout, but then really good construction. So, I hate to say it. I like the brand, but this cigar just wasn't what I was expecting it to be. And this price point is quite high. I was expecting a lot more from it, and I just
what's the price point?
$17.45.
Woo!
So,
wow.
Yeah. Dude, the price point's ridiculous for this cigar.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have a question for you guys. So you have
packaging sucks on this too, by the way.
Yeah, it's not the greatest look.
The cedar wrap and that fucking green and white band.
I thought that cedar. This the first time I've seen name stamping on cedar. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah, they name stamped it. Yeah.
Sobremesa, Mi Querida, Todos los Días, and Compromiso. How do you rank those four?
Todos los Días is first, Mi Querida after that, and then everything else for me. And Mi Querida is like inexpensive, right? It's like really affordable. Like
Umbagog maybe, but not Mikarita.
Okay, maybe I get that backwards.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
So you have Sober Mesa, you have Mikarita, you have Todos Los Dias, and you have Sin Compromiso. How do you rank those lines?
Todos Los Dias. Probably Mikarita overall over Sober Mesa, but I do think Sober Mesa, the Cedros, that Churchill's a special size.
That Churchill is magic.
If you put that in a different thing, but overall,
So
Sober Mesa's under that, and then at the bottom, Sin Compromiso.
Interesting. Yeah, for me, it's the oldest to newest, basically, is the way it works. So it goes in that order: Sober Mesa, Mikarita, Todos Los Dias, and Sin Compromiso. But
those two Vitolas of the Sober Mesa were very different than, the short cedar and the long one.
Yeah, and I'm not those aren't the ones I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
The El Americano, the Toro, is my favorite cigar that he makes.
Wow.
So I just think that's a fantastic cigar. So yeah. All right. Any other final thoughts?
I think Steve going to be very unhappy with us.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna be happy. Oh well.
I feel bad, man, because like I said, I love his cigars. I think all his cigars have been really enjoyable up until now. I didn't realize the price point of this bad boy. That's surprising.
Yep.
Well, it just goes to show you that just because Steve's a cool guy and he's a good guy doesn't mean his cigars get good ratings. Other like some people probably who just do that.
I agree with you.
Shots fired.
All right, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, you should subscribe to us. But also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalace.com. Be sure to follow us on all the social media channels. You can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.